Mikal Clay, the hair doctor, and today I want to talk about the deaf frogs. Now you're like, deaf frogs, what's that have to do with anything? You know, in our life, we have to make sure of who we're connected to, what we believe in, who we believe in, and what actually controls our emotions, our physical, our intellectual, our emotional, and spiritual. You know, there's people in your life right now, there's a storm going on, and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to make it. And if you group with people who say, I don't know how you're going to make it either, you're not going to make it. But if you believe, if you're connected to a higher power, if you use your thermostaticness to say, listen, I can control my environment. The enemy is in the who? The enemy is in who? You know, you're going to have your accountant, hey accountant, say, well, Michael, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. The bank says, you're not going to make it. How are you going to pull that money together by the 15th? How are you going to do whatever by the so-and-so? You're not going to make it. It's impossible. Listen, through God, all things are possible. We have a blood-bought right to get what we desire. God isn't going to put anything on you that you can't handle. So let's talk and look at what happened with the two frogs. There's two frogs, mired in muck, stuck in a pit. They're stuck in this long pit and they're on a branch. And below that branch is a fiery furnace. And these two frogs are trying to jump out, and it seems like it's an insurmountable jump to make it out of the pit. So then people gather around and they're like, oh my God, look, they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. Look, they're not going to make it. Oh my God, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. They didn't get a rope. They didn't call for help. They called everyone like an order of hateration to come and look at the frogs. You're not going to make it. Oh my God, they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. The energy that they used to help them, they wanted to speak negativity into the frogs. You're not going to make it. Look, they're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. So sure enough, one of the frogs, he said, you know what, I give up. I'm not going to make it. I'm going to stop my jump. And he just jumps and he falls and he is incinerated into the pit. But yet the other frog, they're still yelling. It's a crowd looking around the pit. Oh my God, you're not going to make it. How are you going to make it? How are you going to do it? You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And the frog is just jumping and he's trying to get up out of that thing. They're not reaching for him. They're not taking their belts off to help reach down. They don't want to fall in the pit. All they want to do is yell at the frog. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And sure enough, supernaturally, the frog makes it out of the pit. And everyone's like, oh my God, how did you do that? Oh my God, we thought you weren't going to make it. And the frog looks at them befuddled and says, talking to me? He said, yeah, we thought you were going to. He said, you thought I'm not going to make it? He said, what? You can't hear me? He said, no, I'm deaf. I thought you were cheering me all the time. You have to look in your life and you have to say, who am I to somebody? Am I the cheerer or the hater? Are you helping or are you hindering? But sometimes you are on the other side of the pit trying to jump. You're trying to make it out of the pit. You're trying to get up out of there. And guess what? You can't listen to what they say. If they're not connected to the same thing that you're connected to, you're not going to make it. But guess what? Through Christ, you are going to make it. I'm here to say, you're going to make it. Don't quit. Don't stop jumping. As Pastor Christ said, don't let your questions stop your quest. You are going to make it. You got to jump. You got to keep on going. Yes, your legs hurt. Yes, they say they're going to come repossess your shoes. No, you can't. The branch manager says you get off of his branch. You are going to make it. Don't give up. You're going to make it. Act like the deaf frog. Let their hateration be your admiration so that you can get up out of there. You're going to make it. I'm going to make it. Watch. Mikal Clay Products, we're going to make it. Mikal Clay Products, we're going to make it. I'm going to make it. My family's going to make it. And everyone who loves me, we're going to make it. You're going to make it. This video was just for you. I'm not advertising. It's for you. You're going to make it.
Listen here somewhere. I know that hallelujah. No matter what may come my way. Hallelujah. Jesus, my life is in. Oh, I love you so much, Jesus.